white death, man-eaters, killing machines. These are just a few of the terms that have been used to describe what most people view as the scariest and deadliest creatures in the oceans. But are they really as scary as they are portrayed to be? In reality, sharks as a whole are in trouble. Their numbers are dropping quickly, and the most common response is, good, the fewer the better. But the health of the sharks' populations of the world's oceans is directly related to the health of the ocean itself. The sharks are in trouble, but they have friends. One such friend is AHS graduate and marine biologist David Say. Now let's take an inside look into David's life as a marine biologist and his upcoming projects with his new friends.
But I started Auburn University in 2008 as a undergrad in marine biology, and I just graduated in August. I'll talk a little bit about the classes that I've had to take. Most of my classes were actually at Dauphin Island. Auburn University only has one class dedicated to marine biology, and it's just an intro class. So, have any of y'all heard of Dauphin Island Sea Lab before, or have you been there? Dauphin Island Sea Lab, and Coach might be able to tell you a little bit more about it. It's a consortium with all of the universities. So, with marine biology across all universities in Alabama, we're required to go to Dauphin Island every summer, or at least two, to get 16 credit hours. And that's really our first exposure to marine biology. A lot of other universities don't have classes. Auburn has one. They have a lot of different classes. I listed just a few here. Dolphins and whales, marine botany, invertebrate zoology, coastal wetlands, and my favorite, that's why it's in red, shark and ray biology. But if you don't know where Dauphin Island is, this is Dauphin Island. It's about an hour south of Mobile, or about an hour east of Pascagoula, Mississippi. But the lab is very important. It brings in a lot of revenue. They have an estuarium that's run by the Sea Lab. It's a small, like, aquarium type place, but it teaches you a lot about the just all the local habitats. These are just a couple of pictures from my last 3 summers at Dauphin Island. Some of the pictures that I have from my Dauphin Island trips, I don't have too awful many of them. Some of the classes that I took, though, were shark and ray biology, so that's why I have, these are the sharks that we actually got to dissect. You'll have the chance to do a external anatomy in this class. You won't actually get to, like in this class here, you want the chance to cut them open, but you'll have the chance to at least do some of the work that I've actually been able to do. One of the big things that Dauphin Island does is they research horseshoe crabs. Have any of y'all heard of those? They're pretty much a living fossil. They haven't changed much in the last couple 100 million years. And Dauphin Island does a lot of research with those, and a lot of other universities, because they have, they're using it for cancer research, because these guys actually don't get cancer, or at least they don't think they do, so that's one of the things they're trying to use them for. But the whole reason I'm actually here today is to talk to y'all about my, my NOAA trip that I took in August. NOAA is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They do a lot of weather stuff, but they also do a lot of biology related stuff. This trip that I did was a survey to catch and measure sharks and red snapper. So we were out, I was out for 15 days doing shark data, but the whole project is 2 months long. So what I did was I went, let's see if this map should be the next one. No. So this is the boat that I was on. It's called the RV Oregon 2, Research Vessel Oregon 2. She's 180 feet long, which, I mean, that sounds like a big boat. 15 days out at sea, that gets really small. You can't leave. You're stuck on there. So what we were after, and part of what my job to do, was anything that we caught that was a fish, we would weigh and measure them. We'd take length, weight, and we'd try to find out the gender and sexual maturity of the shark. Other fish we couldn't do this because it's a lot harder to tell. Other things that we would do, though, is we'd collect tissue samples from the less common species. So some of them we wouldn't, but what we would do is we'd take a fin clip, We'd actually just take some scissors and cut their fins a little bit. And then you can't really see it, but it says OTC at the bottom. I think that stands for oxytetracycline. What we do is we'll inject a dye into the backbones of a shark so that we can later, if it's recaught, we'll have to harvest or kill the shark and cut out its backbone. But what we can do with this is, since we can't do like the otolith samples with sharks because they don't have them, we use their backbones, and they will also have growth rings, so that we can determine their rate of growth. Alright, most of these now are just going to be pictures. What we've got here, like I said, we're not just catching sharks, and we're kind of catch anything that's going to take a bite on the line. So one of the cooler things that we caught was about a 1.5 foot long barracuda. We also caught red snapper. This was a yellow line snapper, no, grouper, and then red grouper. Something about the measurements that we take. If they were small enough, we'd bring them on board and take them to this plank, and it's got 2 meter sticks embedded within it so that we can take measurements. This was one of the bigger nurse sharks that we caught. I believe she was around 6 feet long. The OTC that I was telling you about, that we inject into their vertebrae, this is how we do it. You just take a syringe and you stick it up to their backbone and squeeze. I think for the smaller sharks we did 1 cc, and then for the larger sharks we did 2. Sometimes we'd catch 1 fish on the line or on a hook, and another bigger fish would come and eat it. So we have, we had originally caught a red grouper on this line, and then a 2 meter long sandbar shark came up and ate it. Another red grouper that we had caught, if y'all have heard of things coming up too fast from the bottom of the ocean, they expand so their eyes will pop out, or their stomach will actually invert and stick out of their mouth. That's what happened to this guy. This is just me holding a picture of holding a shark, the Mastellus smoothhound. Kind of a rare species. We don't see too many of those guys, so the chance to see that was actually pretty cool. With the exception of these two, so we caught these 2 guys at 1,000 feet deep. Both of these are rare to see, especially this guy. It's a Cuban dogfish, which is a shark, not just a fish. But so, do y'all think that the ocean has like fish just everywhere, or do you think it's kind of mid, or they're just hard to find? Somebody.
It depends on how deep the water is and where you're at.
Exactly. So at 1,000 feet deep, out of 100 hooks, how many do you think we caught?
Probably not very many.
3. That's all we caught.
What kind of fish is this in the
This one, this is called a golden tilefish.
What's wrong?
Do what?
What's wrong with
What's wrong with it?
your face?
That's just how it looks. It's just how it looks. Tasted good though, so I'm not complaining. I don't care if it's ugly. This was a 12.5 kilogram Warsaw grouper that we caught. This guy looks kind of big, but that's actually a really small one. These guys get up to about 200 or 300 pounds.
So like, when you're deep sea fishing, you have like a limit of fish.
Right.
Did you guys have like a limit of
Because we can't control this, which I mean in fishing it's kind of hard to control too, but no, we had no limits because we're actually doing research. None of these were used from it. We got to eat them once we were done, but their primary purpose was for us to take measurements. Like any fish that we caught, unless it was like this guy right here, because he's eaten, so we can't take measurements for him. Anything else, we always took measurements. We always did samples. So we had to, no matter what, if we caught it, we had to do something with it. So there was no catch limit. But part of the reason that we're out there is to determine what the catch limits need to be.
Y'all actually like fish training fish?
Like with a rod and reel? No. we wouldn't have had the time to. The boat never stopped moving. The only time we really stopped was when we were setting our gear out, and that's only for like a minute.
How long ago was I on the boat?
I was out for 15 days. The crew and my boss, they were out there for a month, and then they switch out. Stumpy was another tiger shark that we had caught, but when it was younger, we think that another shark or a propeller might have actually cut off that upper lobe of its caudal fin, which is rare to see something without that, because that's where all of their thrust to move forward comes from. So the fact that this guy was still alive was actually pretty cool for us. So we satellite tagged Stumpy, and Stumpy's actually moving around a lot. I think that's pretty much it for this one. But this Tuesday I found out that I'll be spending anywhere between 4 to 6 months in the Philippines working with whale sharks. Don't really know much about what I'll be doing over there yet, but I do know that pretty much what these guys in the picture are doing is going to be my job. I'll be out there scuba diving and snorkeling every day in the Philippines with the whale sharks. I might get the chance to work with sea turtles. If we have any dead dolphins wash ashore, I'll be performing autopsies on those guys. So I'm really excited about this. I leave in 9 days, and I'll be over there for 4 to 6 months. And then afterwards, first of all, does anybody not know where the Philippines is? I was just going to show you exactly where it was. That's where the Philippines are, and then I'm going to be at the very tip of this island, so I'll be living on the beach pretty much every day. And then afterwards, once I get done with all that, I'm going to try to get into school in Australia to do a master's program studying marine biology as well.
As you can see, the life of a marine biologist can be very exciting. David will be traveling to the Philippines for the next 4 months at sea in different parts of the Atlantic Ocean, discovering and completing research on many things. Tune in next time on Aqua Venture to get a closer look into David's life with a personal interview with me. My name is Cody Bass, and this has been Aqua Venture.